Welcome. This is For Better and Worth,
the podcast where we don't believe you have to sacrifice your relationship while you grow and build your net worth.
We are your hosts.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Ericka Young, and we're so glad you're joining us today.
All right, y'all, let's get into it. Hello, we are back at it again. What's going on, huh?
Hey, I'm excited. I'm always happy to come to the table and chat with you about money and relationships and talking. And I feel like when we wait in between a little bit, I'm like, wait a minute, it's been a while. It's been too long. So I missed it.
Yeah, being happy is a good spot to be in. And we're entering that time of year.
Yes.
Where, the holiday season is beginning and it's going to be in full effect. And to all of you, Christmas is my favorite holiday of the year. But you have to give it its proper place. And that is after Thanksgiving, people.
You know what I realized this week is that Thanksgiving does not have its own decorations per se. Like, you can do, a cornucopia or whatever at the table, but there's nothing for outdoors to commemorate this actual holiday. I feel like people put pumpkins out for Halloween and, you can leave it there, I guess, if you want.
And
but
it'll lead into Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but there's no real decorations for Thanksgiving. You just kind of stuff yourself. And
you know what? Thanksgiving needs a mascot.
Oh, Lord. It does. It's the turkey, babe. I mean, for, the vegetarians.
The turkey is typically the Thanksgiving mascot, but
yeah.
Christmas, you got Santa Claus, you got elves, you got
You're calling Santa a mascot?
That's what he is.
I don't know. I wonder if he would appreciate that, honey.
Ericka, he's not real. He's make-believe.
Well, I don't know. Believe what you want to believe. I believe in the magic of Christmas, okay?
Look,
so
this is a diversion of where we're going, but I remember we told our daughter that, I don't know if we were good or bad parents. You all can think what you want. But our daughter asked us if Christmas was real,
or
Santa Claus was real, and we were like, well, we celebrate the birth of Jesus, and Christmas is momentous. I was like, but, your mom and daddy buy these gifts.
You know what? You spoiled it for our child. You really did. And then I think you actually spoiled it for a few people in her kindergarten class. Thank you very much.
Right. We were like, well, look, now don't go to school and tell your friends that we told you this. But it was funny because she was wondering, and, she's just always been inquisitive. So,
but what's funny is our youngest was aware that, Santa was a fictional character.
Yeah.
And she wrote a letter to him anyway because she wanted to just be a part of all the things. And she allowed her imagination to take her where she wanted. She stepped into being creative and not falling prey to one side or the other.
That's that future politician in her.
Yeah, she was, toting both sides, honestly.
Yes.
In order to win the people. She was like, well, if he's real, I want to make sure he got my letter. If he's not, it's fine. It's good,
She was hedging her bets.
She was.
But look, today we're going to talk about, Thanksgiving, but we're going to talk about the biggest retail day of the year, which everyone knows is coming.
Yeah.
And that is Black Friday, followed closely by Cyber Monday.
Yes. You know what? I feel like in the last several years, about 5 years now, they have been encroaching upon Thanksgiving, and I wish that Thanksgiving could at least just have its moment. Now, granted, say what you will about the history of why we celebrate Thanksgiving, but in our household, we have adopted that, we're giving thanks to God for how he's taken care of us this year and his many blessings, and honestly thankful for the food that we get to eat and being, really aware and cognizant of, the fact that we get to be together and celebrate. And I feel like now that Black Friday is it's literally a whole week now. I mean, as of 5 years ago, it started to when the first time that people were leaving their Thanksgiving table and going to get in line, I thought this is nuts.
Right.
And I didn't want to participate, but I promise you, I'm sure that year I bought something online because it was available to me
Yeah, that
earlier
day.
in the sale. And I'm like, hold on a second. Let's make sure we are doing what we're here to do today on Thanksgiving, which is focus, you know?
Yeah, I believe that, that's what it's all about. First of all, is like you said, just stopping and recognizing that we have so much to be thankful for. And we talk about how, we deal with first world problems in
Yeah.
so many ways when there are people who have real issues, real things going on in life. Not that, anything that we're dealing with aren't real, but I'm a realist and understand that some of the things we may be challenged with now because we've just, moved at different phases in life. And it's just a moment to me to just stop and just really, acknowledge the blessings that we have in life and health and, mindfulness and all of that. And so I hope people that you take this opportunity first and foremost to do that same thing, acknowledge the many blessings that you have, because one thing I have learned over the course of my life is that no matter what your situation looks like, somebody would probably turn their hand in
Yes.
for yours.
That's right.
And
You're
so
right.
just take a moment to stop and be thankful for, what you do have, not
Yeah.
what you don't have. And, be grateful for the blessings.
I am curious. You have openly shared on our podcast the challenges financially that your, family of origin, the house that you grew up in had, right? And, um, you know, I'm curious on Thanksgiving, was it ever a challenge to ensure that the holiday was special, or how did you celebrate and bring what you just shared today to the forefront, right?
Girl, I grew up in a black household,
Uh-huh.
and we gon' eat. We gon' smack.
Not That's true. That's true. But
So, so what I'm getting at is we ate on Thanksgiving. I don't care what else was going on. There was nothing that kept us as a family. And when I say family, beyond my brother, sister, my mom, we all came together, you know, as a family unit, my aunts, uncles, and cousins. And growing up, we used to go to my grandma's house, and it was literally the whole family was there. And my grandmother had a house with a fireplace, and this was like the start of the season, and we might throw a log on the fire. And she was like the only person I knew who had a real fireplace that burned real wood, living in the hood. But we would throw a log on there and we would eat so much
Lord have mercy.
that I remember me and my Uncle George, Uncle Amp for those who in my family who may listen. We would eat so much and we would all go lay on the floor
That's crazy.
and we would stretch.
No.
And then we would come back and be like, y'all ready for another round?
No, you gotta give tribute to Uncle Amp. How did Uncle Amp say it?
He'd be like, nah, come on, y'all. And we would just go and we would eat, but that I remember that. Like, we literally would lay on the floor and stretch. So, though we may have struggled, Thanksgiving was one time that it was no issue making sure we got food. And it was, it was a true potluck kind of thing. You were responsible for this, you were responsible for that. So as a family, we would all come together. So the burden wasn't on one singular person. My grandmother, she might have, done the turkey and provided that. And then, my aunt, would have brought, one aunt would bring something, another aunt would bring something, and my mom would bring something. And so it was that potluck, that communal thing where we all came together and, just made sure we had good food. And, growing up, Black Friday, it wasn't a big thing. Like, I don't remember Black Friday being a big deal when we were growing up. And I don't remember, I try to go back and circle back and think about when that even happened. But before we even get there, tell us about how you all would do, how you all would interact for Thanksgiving as far as dinner and, how you all would Show up.
We were not laying on the floor to get more in. I will tell you that. But I think, yeah, we also would go to my grandmother's house. And it was a potluck situation where everybody brought something. And I just always remember just kicking it and hanging out and playing with my cousins. And it was the one holiday where, besides, I would say, Mother's Day or Easter, where my cousins always got together and we hung out and, played and stuff like that. Because for most of my upbringing, I would split time between parents because of,
Hmm.
they were divorced. I remember specifically that Thanksgiving was a time where we all was able to, we typically would get together and so I just honestly, the food was good. I'll be honest with you, grandma would make a lot and we would, everybody else would bring something, but grandma had her specialties. And sometimes those specialties didn't fall on the holiday. I'm gonna just be honest, like no shade to Early May. She was
R.I.P. early.
yeah, she was a wonderful grandmother, and her zucchini bread is legendary. And so she had some things, but that she didn't make
Boy,
zucchini.
I'd have loved to match my grandma and your
No,
grandma up
see,
on that
no.
zucchini
My
bread
grandma,
competition.
listen, she grew her zucchini in
Oh,
her
so did my
backyard.
grandma.
Okay, listen,
Liz
okay.
had a
Mm-mm,
garden in her backyard.
nope. So my
So
grandma,
her fertilizer was the grass clippings.
and you know what? I ain't got time for you. So, so I'll be very honest and say, like, my mother is a good cook, but I don't remember the food being so like over the top amazing that I would be on the floor trying to stretch out so I could get some more.
Look, I told you we used to look. We put it back on Thanksgiving.
Now, I do, however, remember my older cousin. He would, he was a flight attendant, so he would surprise our family and be in town sometimes. He wouldn't let us know when he was coming. And I remember, a Thanksgiving in particular where he came and he surprised us. And oh my goodness, almost gave my grandmama a heart attack. But yeah, I mean, I remember playing more so than the overindulgence until we became adults and we had moved away. And when we went back to Michigan one time for Thanksgiving and my mother made a sweet potato pie, I said, wait a minute, how come for 25 years I do not remember this sweet potato pie tasting like this? Or I had a
Well,
greater
it wasn't.
appreciation.
It wasn't 25 years, but it was like we were shocked because we had been married. We were like, where did this come
I'm
from?
talking about my whole life. I'm talking about
Oh, I
I'm talking
got
about
you. I got
BC
you. Yeah,
before
yeah, yeah,
Chris.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I'm like, but I think as an adult, I had a greater appreciation for her sweet potato pie. And you're right. Like, I think a lot of times nowadays people are concerned about the cost of everything because the inflation is real. It's a real deal right now, and everything is expensive. I have declined on some things at the grocery store recently because I'm like, this costs too much.
And it's so funny because we were in the grocery store and you said something
Yeah,
about not buying an item. I was like, man, we need this though.
nope.
And I went and I looked. I was like, oh, I'm not getting that. I
See,
looked it up at another store and it was $2 less. I was like, boy,
exactly.
here. Look, people. It don't matter. $2 here,
Yep,
$2 there. It all adds up.
it
So
does.
we still are budgeteers.
That's right.
And we operate with wisdom.
That's right. And you know what? I am not taking for granted that, mom is coming to visit. She got her turkey for free. I said, bring that on with you, mama. We gonna cook that joker up
Right.
over here because everything is expensive. And I love it when everybody's able to potluck and bring something and all of that. But the meal itself is typically like $100 to feed a good sum of people. And so that can be a burden. That's
Yeah,
extra.
it definitely can be a burden.
Yeah.
When $100 extra for a meal. For
Hmm.
some people, that's a lot.
But
And
even still,
I would rather spend $100 on Thanksgiving, dinner when we have like, our family and extended relatives that come by. Because then, we eat off that
Yeah.
for days. So then the cost goes down over time
True.
because we end up eating Thanksgiving food for like a week.
Listen, let me just tell you, I am leftover queen. I do not play. If I'm going to cook, it better be some tomorrow. We are not only cooking for one day. I don't play those games.
If you the queen, I'm the king.
Come on.
I will kill some leftovers.
That's right. That's right.
But let's get to Black Friday. That's what everybody want to talk about because
oh my
that's what
gosh.
everybody fast forwards past Thanksgiving and starts thinking about Christmas and shopping lists and trying to get a deal, which I can appreciate a good deal. But I think people start setting themselves up for failure because I know, like, I've been out shopping for Christmas gifts and I was like, wait a minute, these deals so good. I got to start buying myself things.
And that's the thing. That's what we do, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, it is not just we pretend that we are buying only for the holidays or for Christmas gift giving for other people. And the reality is we know everybody will be buying something for themselves during that moment.
I don't know how you go into Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all of this and you don't end up buying yourself something. But I just want to share with people that we've been very intentional about how we have approached holiday shopping and gift giving because we actually save money throughout the year. We have a credit union that we bank with and we have one of those Christmas funds and we just put money into that account and then we will spend accordingly to that budget. We will have saved the money throughout the year. And when we get to that time where we're buying gifts, we will actually start drawing that account down. And if we decide we're going to exceed that, we typically will talk about how much beyond that we would spend for Christmas. And so I'm starting with the end in mind right now, people. You have got to be mindful about how you're going to do something if you are ever going to be successful at doing that thing.
Yeah. The practical thing that I typically tell people is if you've never set aside money on a monthly basis for the holiday season, look at what you spent in December on the holidays. Look a year ago. Look in November, December, previous year and add it up for yourself. Face it, because it's not easy. And then take that number and divide it by 12 and start in January.
Yep. When January hit, you started that savings.
Make it automatic. Do it anyway. And most of the time, and this is very common in both in statistics as well as in what I have seen with clients, is that people spend at least $1,000 per household, at least $1,000. And it doesn't matter what your income is. They will on average spend a good $1,000, $1,200 on Christmas itself or on the holidays, depending on what it is that you celebrate. And that is a lot of money. And then the other thing is, this does not include, Christmas, or holiday photos or, just all of the activities, the parties that you go to, the gift exchanges, all of that, or even decorations. Decorations is a doozy. And so that we have to add those things up. I tell people all the time, literally write a list of all the things and then the people and then the amounts that you're going to spend. And face it, most of the time it's at least 30 to 50% more than you thought it was going to be.
Look, I think if people aren't mindful about it, this is an easy time to get derailed. You could be on track doing everything you need to do throughout the year. And because you feeling like, jolly old Saint Nick.
Oh, Lord.
you start thinking like, well, I want to buy this person to give for this or that. And then, I'm not even going to talk about like how I see people posting stuff and some of the things they're buying their kids and, these PlayStation 5s that are $600. And it's like, oh my God, one gift for a kid, you have a PlayStation, but you had no games. You have a single controller.
Yeah.
But I think the thing about Black Friday, which I can appreciate that people participate in, is people are trying to get a deal. Mm-hmm. And I know that I look at Black Friday sometimes and I'm like, ooh, okay, this is a perfect time to start doing my Christmas shopping because what it helps me do is, one, it helps me get my shopping done early. And then, two, it helps me get all of my shopping done at a discount, which I appreciate. And so I would just start to talk about, as people are thinking about Thanksgiving and Black Friday, Cyber Monday, if you have prepared or whether you've not prepared, there is still time
Yeah.
to press pause and think about what it is you're going to do.
And be honest about if you're going to buy something for yourself. Because I'll be very honest right here and right now. There are at least two things that I'm going to be looking for on Black Friday that have nothing to do with anybody else's gift. Okay. I am going to buy something for myself because it is on sale. Now, granted, it's not anything exciting. It's like skincare or hair
I,
care.
I already know I'm gonna buy myself something just because, like you said, everything is on sale.
It's on
So
sale. And so be honest about it. But I think don't let yourself get too far gone. I think the thing that concerns me quite a bit is that people feel like they have to buy these expensive things and they are trying to get out of debt, or they're trying to reach a goal, or they're trying to build their savings, and the holidays can derail those plans quickly. The banks make it easy for you to, pause on a car payment, for instance, or you might, I mean, let's be real. I have seen where people are, they're not current on utility bills because they let that thing slide, or they put it on credit. And then come January, you have all of this remorse. You might have had a great holiday, but January, you're sick to your stomach. And I hear about, spending diets in January and, a reset. And people are like saying no to literally everything because they're trying to make up for lost time.
yeah,
And that's the thing is, don't have a holiday hangover. Let's figure out today, right now, how to not have a holiday hangover, and what, even if it's just one habit or behavior that you need to change that, causes you to go off the rails, how can you get ahead of the game and be proactive?
that's a good name for it, holiday hangover,
Mm-hmm.
because you come out of it and you're like, oh man, I don't feel right, or I don't feel good. And
Yep.
the next morning you have regrets. You have done things that
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't have done. And that is such a good name for it. But I think as people are planning, because no matter whether you've made preparation or not, everybody's still planning to go shopping. Okay.
I would really like to hear from a listener on if they are not going to partake.
Well, when you listen to this
That's
podcast,
right. If you're not going to spend any money on
drop a
Black
note in the
Friday
comments
or
that,
Cyber Monday, let's talk about it both. I want to hear it. I want to
yes,
hear it. Drop it in the comments on our Instagram or send us an email. Listen, I want to know, because if we actually hear somebody who is not about to spend some money,
now be honest.
be
Don't don't
honest. Come
don't
on.
lie to us and be
Mm-mm.
lying to yourself when you
Mm-mm.
know that you out there in those streets.
That's right.
And it's so different now too, because I remember there were a few times that, on Black Friday we wanted something for our kids, and I was up at the crack of dawn, like,
What were you trying to get at the crack of dawn? Now, this I don't remember because it's been a long time.
well, it was a while ago, but remember I was trying to get like some Game Boys. Boy,
Oh.
you reach a point in life where you start realizing, like, man, I've seen a few sunrises and sunsets.
You've been around the block a couple times,
Yeah, and
husband?
I'm like Game Boys, like some people out there listening like, Game Boys, what's that?
So where did you
But
go to get these Game Boys?
I went to some electronics store, and I remember there was a trampoline we were trying to get for the kids at
Oh,
Walmart. It
yes.
was crazy. We took that trampoline back.
Sure did. I don't think they ever knew you had bought it.
They never knew. I went out on Black Friday to Walmart, got that trampoline, and I don't know why we decided against it, but we took it
I
back.
know why. I know why. One, our HOA was not having it. They did not want that liability. And we were concerned our kids were going to break their leg. Like, that was fairly commonplace.
Yeah, that might be it, but I
Yeah.
know I got it.
You got it,
When I
because we were like,
came
well,
home, I was like, I secured it. I
let's
got the tramp.
listen, we wanted the deal, and then we wanted to decide later if it
I,
was right for
I
us.
think we decided later that, hold on, this might not be the right thing. I wonder how many people go and do that on Black Friday, buy stuff because it's a good deal. Like, oh, I can't pass this up. and then wind up taking it back or end up keeping it just because I remember I can go in my office right now and I got like 2 Amazon Echo Dots that I got for free, or I got for something. They're brand new, never been used. But I was like, how many Echo Dots or how many do you need in
Yeah.
one house?
Right.
So don't be surprised if I re-gift some Amazon Echo Dots this year to some people. So if you get one from me, just know, it's out of love, count it to my heart, not my head.
You are silly. But you know what?
Well, no, count it to my head and not my heart. That's what it is.
You know what though? Have you been a recipient of regifting?
Oh, I'm fairly certain I have gotten some re-gifts.
We played the game. What is it called? The White Elephant Gift Exchange.
That is the classic re-gift arena.
If you say it in the rules that it's okay to do, but the White Elephant Gift Exchange it's something where everybody comes with a gift. Everybody picks a number. The gifts are wrapped. No one knows who brought what, and they're numbered. Or you can get the numbered gift, or you just go pick one of them when your number is called, right? And I remember a couple ways we did it. We did where you can allow regifting, and I remember I will this person shall not be named. We found out that somebody regifted some sheets.
Wow.
I'm like, that is the craziest thing. I think the rule was it had to be something in your home already. And I'm like, there could have been plenty of different things that you chose besides sheets.
Well, I guess as long as it's in the package, and not
You know
folded
what?
up in a bag.
I don't need nobody to give me no sheets. And then the other fun way is to do something quirky or corny or something that's just gonna make people laugh.
That's what whenever I've done White Elephant, I set the rules, and I'm the advocate. Like, no junk gifts.
See,
and I make sure we set a good limit.
But sometimes that's not fun. Sometimes we want silly
When is it
gifts.
not fun to get a good gift?
Well, you have to have a good limit. And then it depends on who you're with. So like if you do a $10 gag gift, that can be fun. It's just silly and you get laughs out of it. Look at you and I see if only they could see your face.
Right.
You have really been a good gift giver. So I can understand and appreciate why you would want to receive a good gift.
That's right. I don't want no junk. Keep that junk.
See,
I got enough little knickknacks laying around here. I don't need no more junk gifts.
I get it. And it could be a waste of money. I understand. But I think the entertainment value is also valid.
I appreciate the entertainment value.
Yes.
But there's always ways to make good gifts funny.
Is it? See, I remember somebody gave you some tools and they were inexpensive and you were like, "Oh, I need this. This is a good little gift."
Yeah, there's been times of good ones and times of bad ones, but
And I remember one time that we did the White Elephant Exchange with friends, and I got the 3-piece crock pot, like the mini crock pots, and I still have it to this day. I love that thing. That was the best little gift.
And you remember that because what was it? A good gift.
It was a good gift. And it was we were told to be underneath $25. So this was not like a whole lot of money. And I think this is a really
I still don't understand how they got it.
I don't know either.
That must have been a Black Friday.
It might have. You know what? That's a really good idea is to get some of those gifts for things such as that.
A good Black Friday idea.
But that's a really good way for families to keep costs down and not feel like you have to buy for everybody. Just make it fun instead of this have to have, right?
Yeah. And I don't want people to mistake what I'm saying because I really want people to think about, like, as we approach the Thanksgiving season this year, that you're staying within your means. You're not going beyond your ability or what you've budgeted to try and be something that you shouldn't be, because the plan doesn't change. If you have a goal and you're working towards that goal doesn't change. And you should have built cushion in, or you should have had forethought to think about it. And like I said, whether you have prepared for it everybody's still planning to participate.
That's right. I mean, when we were in debt, we always made sure we had a Christmas. We would fly back home, so we would spend money on plane tickets, but we would also give gifts
But we
to,
factored
yeah,
it into our budget,
we did. And so like it's common for it would be common while in debt to just not pay extra on debt that month.
Yep.
Until we learned to set aside dollars, until it made sense to set aside dollars. And so you can, and this is why a budget is your best friend, honestly, is because it helps you plan. It really does. It helps you plan. And so I think that no matter what phase you're in, you can participate and feel good about it and be able to wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and still like who you are. And because you've done good for not only your budget and your goals, but also for the people that you love and you care for. So you can do both. It's just, I think it takes planning.
I think there's two things that are tough. One is the planning, because people don't think they can do it because they say, well, I don't have enough. And because I don't have enough, I can't do this. And that's where the budgeting comes in. And that's where they have to write the plan down so they can see it. And when you see it and you understand it, that makes it easier. But I think the second thing that makes, all of this tough when you're trying to eliminate debt, or you're trying to, build wealth and create a future, is execution. Because people allow things to get them distracted, to get them off. And the holidays, I don't care what anybody says, the holidays are a huge distraction. People take time off work, you're visiting friends, you're going to parties, you're doing different things, you're trying to find entertainment, for yourself, for your family. Like, our daughter's coming home for Thanksgiving, and she's already called and was like, well, what's the agenda, What do I need to bring? What's the dress like? And I'm like, we are chilling.
Yes, we're at home.
But everybody thinks like that. Like, it's the holiday season. We're about to party. We're about to hang. We're about to do all of these things. So to me, it's the planning and the execution, because the execution is where people can be detracted and get off point and off, kilter, because they're
Yeah.
trying to do things that they shouldn't be doing. So
And I think that's real. It's hard to stay focused, especially when you want to just have a good time and let loose and let your hair hang down and not be encumbered, if you will, with the budget. And I get that. And I think the other thing that, people need to pay attention just weekly and look and see how things are going and do some check-ins, especially with their partner. And, just make sure that if you make a decision that's different from the plan you laid out, that you are in agreement. And I think that you owe that to yourself. And I think in practical terms, look back and see what caused you to feel the way you felt after the holidays before, when it wasn't a good
hmm
result. And then what can you do to really enjoy the holidays, and because you can have both, and be able to stick to your plan. So I think it's important just to be proactive, if there was anything that I would leave you with. So what's up, babe? Are we going to make it worth it, or are we going somewhere else?
Well, no, I think that was all. That was all good advice that you just gave, and I think as we approach this holiday season, we should talk about how do we take all of this and how do we make it worth it. So, what would you tell someone as far as how you make it worth it this holiday season?
Honestly, imagine what it is that you want and figure out how to make it work within your budget. How about that? Just be proactive. That's if there were one word, be proactive in how you stick to your budget, as well as how you get to enjoy this holiday season.
That sounds like very good advice, and I hope people take that.
Yes. And what would you say for making it worth it?
I think you should, if we're talking about gift giving and Christmas, because Black Friday is all about approaching Christmas. I think you should write down who you intend to give gifts to. And after you've written it down, then you need to make sure that you stick to that list. And on that list, you need to include yourself. And
You know what? I can appreciate that.
maybe limit, like, just because it's a bunch of stuff that's on sale or a bunch of deals that are out there, don't go crazy buying yourself a bunch of gifts. But if you have written down who you want to be a blessing to, who you want to give gifts to, and you've included yourself. That way you can account for it. And it's just something simple because I really want people to enjoy the holidays and the giving seasons because, I know how it makes me feel to give good gifts to people and to receive good gifts. But I don't know. It does something to me to see people when they get good gifts from me. So
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, you're a good gift giver. I have to give it to you. You and my mother, I feel like, are consistently good gift givers. And that, it's a standout. I have been a work in progress, I will admit.
You had some rough patches. You had some early years. You had some rough patches.
No. It was hit or miss. There would be a good gift, and then there would be a weird
Let me
gift.
tell it because they were my gifts that I was receiving.
But
and it was rough.
you know what? Don't
It
start
was
with
hit
me.
and miss.
I
But
thought
look,
I thought we was gonna end on a good note. That's what I thought was happening.
You have become a great gift giver
You know
as
what?
well.
We gonna talk
So-
after the fact, okay? About
Well,
this.
look, people, we hope that you have taken heed from some of this, and we hope that as you approach the holiday season that you plan to not only be thankful, but share time with your family and your friends and just enjoy the season. So until next time,
Happy Thanksgiving, and we're out.
thank you for spending some of your time with us today.
We appreciate all of your support, so be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you listen to this podcast.
You can find us on Instagram at For Better and Worth.
And sign up to receive our free guide, The 7 Reasons Your Money Relationship Isn't Working with Your Partner, on forbetterandworth.com.
Until next time, we're out of here.